In India, we are almost very close to the Durga Puja, or what we call usually the northern part of our country as Navaratri, which is basically the time when we all are into Shakti worship. The Divine Mother Durga, the Shakti, the Kali. So this is the phase of the year when in another 4, 5, 6 days we'll have the Navaratri beginning, and that's the time when we all worship the Divine Mother in the form of Ma Durga. So I was just very eager to share with you anything that you want to possibly want to know about most favorite subject of my life, or rather most favorite thing of my life, that is all about the Divine Mother. And you know that I have always shared with you that I am Mother's child. The only one thing that I know of myself is that I am Mother's child. And for that matter, who is not? Who is not? So maybe for all of you, I would love to see you all in a state of invoking that particular presence of the Divine Mother, and it's all within us. If at this moment I am speaking to you, it is she who is speaking. If at this moment you are seeing me from such a distance, it's again, once again, through the Shakti that she has given you, through the prana that is there in every cell of your body, through every breath that you are breathing. Each of these are manifestations of the feminine divine, the universal mother. I personally believe that the total sadhana, whatever may be the path of sadhana, whatever may be the path of practice, it has to essentially go and touch deep chord of worshipping Shakti to begin with. None can attain any state of higher enlightenment until and unless one invokes the Shakti, the Divine Mother. We say Sat, Chit, Ananda, isn't the entire concept of the supreme consciousness? We in the Vedantic tradition, we usually talk about the Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is that which is eternal existence, imperishable. Sat, that which was, that which is, that which shall be all along. And the best part of it is that in each one of us, there is that Sat, and in each one of us there is also the opposite of Sat, that is Asat. By Sat we mean that part of us, or that whole in us, that totality in us, that existential reality in us, by which I say I am. The moment I say I am, consciously or unconsciously, I am referring to my amness. I am referring to my existential reality. I am referring to the concept that I exist. By saying I am so and so, or I am doing this, what I am trying to mean is essentially, primarily, that it all begins with Sat, That is, it all begins with my existential reality. If I exist, then alone the whole world is in front of me. If I don't exist, where is the world? If I don't exist, where is my body? If I don't exist, where is my mind? If I don't exist, where are my thoughts? Where is my breath? Nothing seems to be there, but everything seems to begin with that existential beingness of me that is within me. So in each one of us, we know it or not, we may remain completely unconscious about that Sat aspect of our reality inside of us. We can live a whole life of 90 years without ever being conscious of our own beingness. We can manage with the Asat, which is not the existence, but which appears to be the existence, which is our body, which is our mind, which is our intelligence, which is everything that the external manifested world, objective world is all about. But my point that I am trying to drive into each one of you is to consider or meditate upon this fact that it is not that God is up there somewhere. In the very existence of my life, in the very existence of my being, I am continually carrying the seed of God consciousness. How I am nurturing that seed, how I am watering that seed, how I am allowing that seed to gradually germinate into godliness, goodliness, divinity, divineness, goodness, compassion, love, forgiveness, expansion, selflessness. Each one of this that I just uttered, one after the other, they basically are nothing but expression of one reality, and which basically stems out of my existential reality. I am hence all that is. If I am not, nothing is. And in the amness, in that is my being. So the whole concept of the worship or practice or puja or meditation, whatever we try to do every day, it has to essentially focus on this particular aspect, that in me is the Mother Divine as Sat. In me is the Mother Divine as Chit. What is Chit? Chit is the consciousness. Chit is consciousness. So this existence is self-illumined. It's not that in order to know my existence, I have to borrow knowledge from books or anybody else. I know I am. Isn't it true? Do I have to ask anybody, am I? Am I existent? Do you ever ask this question to anybody? Or did you even ask yourself this? Because Chetana, that is consciousness, is the illumined state of that very existence. Wherever there is existence, there is innate consciousness that illuminates that existence, so that I know I exist. So my knowledge about myself is also simultaneously embedded into my system the moment I am born as a human and then being. If I am born as a human, obviously I have a being. But for that matter, everything in this world, all animal species, everything has the same Shakti in their own inner womb. But in human, the difference between all the animal species and all other species of life and human, we have to remind ourselves again and again of this reality that only in human some chip is given in our brain, exclusive, exquisite, unique of its kind, of all species of life. Only humans have this faculty in their brain, that particular enzyme possible in the brain, whereby humans only will have that particular concept of awareness of consciousness. Only humans can close eyes and meditate upon the breath and feel that my breath is separate because I am observing my breath. The observer is separate. This is awareness. Only humans can close their eyes or even with open eyes, see things and at the same time meditate upon the seer within. So the object and the subject can be separately viewed due to this entire prism of what we call as awareness or consciousness. We humans thus are super duper blessed in order to get into the phase of this Chit aspect, Chetana. So wherever there is existence, there is automatically what we will call as Chit, the illumined consciousness about existence. And the third aspect, wherever there is existence, means if I am, that means I am existing. So I am, that is existence, and I know I am is Chit, that is consciousness. So wherever there is existence, there is consciousness. And the third aspect is very important. Wherever there is Sat, wherever there is Chit, there is also embedded into the very system Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. So the very fact that the I exist also at the same time brings into light this eternal reality that I cannot be anything less than blissful, anything less than joyful, anything less than happy. And in case if it happens that I am depressed about something, in case if it happens that I am too overstressed, in case if it happens that I feel miserable, in case if it happens that I am very unhappy, that only proves I am disconnected from my existential beingness. Yes or no? Don't you think all of you think that what I am trying to share with you is a very simple aspect of our daily life, how we all live, but we are not alive. There's a difference between living and being alive. Even vegetables live, and that's the reason we say we vegetate. We are alive when we are connected to our being within. Because the moment we are connected to our being within, I didn't say being without. Because without, that means outside, appears to us only when the beingness is within. As long as the existence of mine is inside of me, I can open my eyes and then enjoy the beauty and the grandeur of these infinite colors and creations of Mother Divine, manifested in diverse myriad forms and names. So whatever is happening in my life, my point is, whatever I am doing, whatever is happening to my life, good, bad, ugly, the fact remains, they are nothing but the external manifestation of some deeper reality that I carry in the very essence of my beingness. So the focus has to be first and foremost in our human life to rediscover where is the source from where everything is emanating, from where everything is manifested, whatever I may be doing. I must know deeply through meditative process, not through acquiring knowledge from outside, by hearing from somebody or by reading books. I must know it intuitively through my practice, from the deepest level of my own inbuilt consciousness that can connect me to that beingness. And from there, whatever I learn, it is not learning, but it is revelation. It is wisdom. It is not knowledge which is updatable. Every knowledge that I acquire from outside world are updatable knowledges. But this that I am trying to refer with all of you, this that can be born in us only through a meditative process of inner introspection, inner seeing, which we call as insight, which is like turning your sight inside. One is this, we are always, our sight is outside. But how about finding time to make sure that yes, my eyes may be open outside, but there is an aspect of me, and that is my awareness, which could be turned and tuned to my inner side of life, which is my being, and thus I will have deeper insight and wisdom about this mysterious universe and its unique process of its manifestations. Does it make sense? It's not a philosophy. It is not a philosophy. It's something each one of us are doing every day. Our point is this: how we could be more and more conscious about it. How we can bring the dimension of awakened consciousness to acknowledge, to recognize, and say, here is my Divine Mother. But you are only seeing a flower. You may be only seeing a tree. You may be looking to the sky, the beauty of clouds. You could see anything in this world. But that's only a physical form, or what you are seeing is nothing but the external form of a deeper inner reality. Even the scientists of today, the natural sciences, the physics, the quantum physicists, they also tell us the same story, that what you are seeing with your eyes is not true. You are only seeing the external aspect of it, which is a grosser part of something subtlest in its inner core. And we have our own microscope. Our mind is supremely powerful to focus like a laser beam if we create that awareness to gradually train our brain with our mind. If we can train our brain with our mind, then over a period of time, even the scientists are seeing that the structure of the brain changes. Even the scientists are seeing that even the genes of our body, which we knew that which basically commands everything of our life and what is going to happen to our physical wellness, even that they say is changeable. That's what they call as neuroplasticity. So the neurons are absolutely within our command to change them to a particular state by which even the neurons learn to gradually grasp the higher, subtler realities. But that needs a continuous long process of practice. Just as in order to become a doctor, years and years and years, students are engrossed in studies. And when they go to the hospital for their practical classes, for years on, they do so much of practice even to know the nitty-gritty of human body and the brain and the different organs and the parts of our body. So in order to be a physician, to be a doctor, to be a surgeon, how much time one gives. In order to be a good engineer, how much time one gives. To be whatever, to make enough money in life, how much time one gives. And then someone reaches to that stage wherein one can really prove oneself to be worthy of being rich enough. In the same manner, if we are trying to find the true richness of life, true richness of our being born as human on planet Earth, if we really want to go learn it, then we have to give time for it, commitment to it, dedication for it. And we cannot ask for continuously. 5 days I do some practice, 6th day I ask, what have I got? What have I got? Every time if I keep on, somebody asked me the other day, Baba, why do you think we have to, chant the japa mantra only in a sitting posture? Why so? I love to do it while moving around. I do my daily chores and I continuously chant my God's name, and it's good. I like it. I enjoy it. But you or other saints and sages, everybody talks about it, that we should sit and meditate, and that's the way to ultimately find enlightenment. Why not? I move around and do my namasmarana, or what do you call it, doing japa or chanting, whatever, or remembering God. I can even do that while I'm just walking about. What's wrong with that? I said, just look here. In India, we have this yogurt, so we call, I don't know how exactly to explain you that. In order to have the yogurt, so what we do is that we have the milk and then we just allow it to sit at one place. We don't just, keep on moving that particular container. And then over a period of time, it settles down, and then the exactly yogurt actually happens. So even in our country, in every home, we do that because it is so, a commonplace thing for us. So I gave that example to them. I said, look here, this is what you do. You can't, have that particular container where you have put the milk and you are trying to create a yogurt out of it. And you keep on moving to see, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? If you keep seeing that, is it done? Is okay? And then whole night you see it, and next morning also it remains at the same place. But just leave it as is, allow it to sit at one place. By morning you will see that the yogurt is ready. But not by continuously checking and moving. In the same tone, we just have to sit to allow our mind to settle. We have to sit at one place and learn the art of sitting only because we need to allow our mind to sit along with the body. The mind is restless. It has never learned the art of being with itself. It always needs a small, tiny, little phone in the hand, or possibly a screen in front, or something by which the mind could be somehow, happy to spend time. But the mind is never trained to be with its own self. Every time we try to sit for some time, we feel we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to go here and we have to go there. There are so many things to do. Why am I sitting like this? But the fact remains, all of us have reached a particular stage of life wherein we have already experimented and come to know that by running about here and there, we ultimately don't attain to that state of peace and tranquility of our mind. But at times, maybe when I'm not doing anything, maybe I'm just sitting somewhere, maybe when I'm just looking at the sky, maybe when I am in a complete let go mood, suddenly something happened, a spark from inside, and that happening is not something that I do, but yet it happens. When I'm not targeting it, when I'm not planning for it, when I'm not trying to do it with a purpose, at some point of time, whenever the mind is stilled for a while, whenever the mind is quiet for a moment, whenever the mind settles down, sits down at one place, doesn't move about restlessly, then there is some kind of an experience in each one of us which tells us that mind in its silent state is really, really something maybe we all are seeking in our life. Because that's the only way and the only space wherein we find that I am independently happy. I am not dependently happy. Because anything I depend upon to be happy in my life, I can miss it any moment. Anything on which I allow my emotions to be invested upon could be snatched away from my hands, and then I am into a pocket where I will feel as if I am sucked. The whole process thus becomes that our daily life has to be gradually not given so much to the training of the mind so that it could become more and more restless. Training for the mind so that it could grope in the darkness. Training for the mind to always feel, oh, how much stressed I am. Training for the mind by which you keep on convincing your mind there are 1 million reasons for you to be unhappy in life. But if I continuously practice this practice of training my brain to really find reasons by which I can convince myself that okay, there are reasons for which I'm not very happy. Good. And the best part of it is this: whatever you train your brain, it's almost like a piece of earth where you put any kind of seed and it accepts and germinates. Proper environment given. So also our brain, whatever seeds of thought we put into our brain, it accepts. And over a period of time, it finds proper environment, it simply germinates. And thus, automatically, we are continually creating our own effects through the actions that of putting the seeds into our brain. It's what we call as cause and effect chain, or the law of karma. This whole world of humanity, we are all bound by our own actions, by our own thoughts, by our own emotions, by our own belief systems. Nobody in this, my experience in life is this: nobody can make me happy. The same tone, nobody can make me unhappy. Only I can make myself happy, only I can make myself unhappy. Now, my happiness or unhappiness essentially is nothing but the state of my inner beingness, my mind, my mindset. What kind of mindset I have. In the midst of all things around me perfect as they should be, I still could be in depression. There are lots of instances for it where you find that the richest of the rich person has so much to complain about life and is so unhappy, and maybe would possibly even jump into the decision to even commit suicide. So what then is needed? Fundamentally, it is nothing but the fact that each day to me is nothing but a beautiful gift, and each day as a gift comes to us to explore for 24 into 60 seconds of time, that means moments of time, where we get such huge amount of time every day to become little more aware, little more conscious, little more open to acknowledge how in diverse forms Mother Divine is coming to me to take me in her lap, to make me feel comfortable, happy. How the Mother is all around me in everything. I just need to open my eyes to see, my heart to open to accept these blessings, so that I know that innate divinity that is my existence is blissful. So at this point, I think